Now, President Donald Trump was recently asked how he felt about calls for impeachment. Now, nearly 150 House Democrats say they are backing articles of impeachment against Donald Trump for his inappropriate call with the president of Ukraine. Now, the call itself wasn't inappropriate by itself, but it was the content of the call, which prompted a whistleblower complaint. So now, according to news reports that have come out, Trump had pressured Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at least 8 times to investigate his political opponent's family. That would be Hunter Biden. That's the son of Joe Biden. Hunter Biden, by the way, was is I believe on the board of a Ukrainian gas company. So now that's incredibly problematic, going after Biden's family, at least when it comes to that, because look, if you're going to pressure another country into an investigation while withholding U.S. aid, that's hugely illegal, right? Not only that, but getting that information would be also considered a campaign finance violation. So sort of the same thing that the Mueller report was kind of about, right? So now Trump's response to this question, it's going to sound vaguely familiar. Take a look.
Mr. President, Congress is moving towards impeachment, including Nancy Pelosi, could be as a result of the Ukraine call. How do you feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous. It's a witch hunt. I'm leading in the polls. They have no idea how they stop me. The only way they can try is through impeachment. This has never happened to a president before. There's never been a thing like this before. It's nonsense. And when you see the call, when you see the readout of the call, which I assume you'll see at some point, you'll understand. That call was perfect. It couldn't have been nicer. And even the Ukrainian government put out a statement that that was a perfect call. There was no pressure put on them whatsoever. But there was pressure put on with respect to Joe Biden. What Joe Biden did for his son, that's something they should be looking at.
This has never happened to a president before. But impeachment? Bill Clinton? Over. And of course, the thing about that is that was over an inappropriate relationship, not extortion, which is essentially what this is. Leveraging U.S. military aid to a country in order to get possible dirt. And it's not even that dirty, right? On a possible political opponent. What else do you call that? Hugely problematic, right? So no, for one, you heard it, witch hunt, witch hunt. No, you literally admitted on camera to making that call to Zelensky, and yes, you admitted that you talked about Joe Biden. Not only that, but your lawyer Rudy Giuliani has been on TV multiple times saying, "Well, we were looking into Hunter Biden, who, by the way, he's got drug problems. Oh, they go dirty, real dirty." So now the conversation, and by the way, this is what Trump had said. The conversation I had was largely congratulatory. It was largely corruption. All the corruption taking place. You don't talk about corruption today. It was largely the fact that we don't want our people like Vice President Biden and his son creating to the corruption already in the Ukraine. I just read it verbatim. Now, here's the thing. Talking about Hunter Biden. Now, was what Biden's son did illegal? Did he do anything illegal? No, of course not. Now, was Joe Biden in a position to have a conflict of interest? Especially considering that there's an investigation, or there was going to be an investigation into that gas company that I'm not sure even happened, and that Joe Biden had called for the removal of an investigator, right? Is that a conflict of interest? Absolutely. Now, Joe Biden says, well, I never talked to my son about this. Does anybody believe that? I mean, where have we heard that one before? Oh, right. Donald Trump, who instead of divesting from his businesses once he became president to avoid a conflict of interest, that's why I bring this up, he claims he put his money in a blind trust. headed by his sons. Really? Now he swears, oh, no, I don't talk to my sons about this blind trust because it's a blind trust. I don't talk to them. Now, does anybody believe that? I don't believe that. You don't believe that. We know he talks to him about his. You know he's the one managing that blind trust, so-called blind trust. Now, you want to talk about corruption? Donald Trump does corruption better than anyone else on the planet. It's just that nobody wants to hold him accountable. But yeah, that's kind of a different rant. So now there's one more thing. Let's go to the obvious lie that's the polling, right? Just for shiggles. Real Clear Politics average of current polls has Trump losing to Joe Biden by about 12 points, losing to Senator Bernie Sanders by about 6.5, and losing to Senator Elizabeth Warren by 5 points. Okay, early polls, I get that. But again, that's an average of all the polls taken so far. And it has Trump losing bigly. I'm ahead in all the polls. Now, unless he has some sort of internal polling that is way different than what we see anywhere else, he's not leading anyone. So, of course, look, either he's got that internal polling, which has to be massively wrong, or more likely, he's lying. He's lied like 12,000 times. It's been documented. But again, that's he's probably lying. You know why? Because that's kind of what he does, and he has a track record of doing so, and lying, and gaslighting, and obfuscating. We all know it by now, and that's just another attempt to try to protect himself from what could be disastrous investigation / possible impeachment. We'll have to see on that. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.